perhaps rapidly, yes, I will repeat a part of what I said. Just saying that the school, Nancy, is a school of science and executive engineering, and that for this specific school we developed 2 red lines for more than 5 years, one red line on innovation and another one on entrepreneurship. And the result of that is now, in 2015, that we generated several startups, which was created by the students in one part and by the alumni in the other part. And now we are networking all these peoples from inside the school and outside with the alumni to develop the network, to motivate every people, and perhaps to develop all the activities around this, I would say, entrepreneurship dynamic, and with, I think, a lot of actions in this objective. Thank you. And at the beginning, I would just say hello to Birmingham University, which I visited 3 years ago.
Okay, right. Thank you, Mr. Josin. For this brief introduction, I will let Rehan do the same with the Birmingham City University, introduce their entrepreneurship program, and how they are planning to develop and expand their entrepreneurship program.
Can you hear me?
Yes. Yeah.
We hear you.
Okay, super. Sorry, I believe you, if I give you a quick introduction of my university, Birmingham City University, and how we are doing entrepreneurship from the source of innovation, and how we take that forward in the coming years, hopefully. So Birmingham City University its identity is really practice-based learning. It's a do it attitude. Sounds a bit like the Nike slogan, but if you think about it, we as a university are pretty much very engaged with industry, the big companies like Microsoft, Cisco, Oracle, and we have a good working relationship with all of them in terms of the tech world. But likewise, we also have other schools away from the computer science and the engineering who are also involved. So we have motorsport engineering. So we have a very niche model where we can do interdisciplinary from engineering and computer science perspective, but also our faculty of arts, design, and media, which brings in a lot of creativity, a lot of design aspect, but also the fashionable user acceptance of the market is very interesting to us. And ultimately, we have a business faculty which brings in a lot of the entrepreneurship, the accounting, the business modeling, and put all that in a mix as a university. We are very much a business-focused and industry-focused university to drive the economy forward. Us in the school, particularly, we are interested in computing, interested in computer networking. Ultimately, the new things we are looking at in terms of innovation is hyper-connected devices, what a lot of people call now Internet of Everywhere. So for all industries, it's applicable, understanding that. But that's why we believe, and there's a very close relationship between entrepreneurship and innovation. So our model has really been based on implementing entrepreneurship in practice, rather than as a typical academia where we would study the theories of entrepreneurship. So we really like to put it in practice. This is why over the last 2 years we've been doing a lot of innovation projects, from as young as they enter the university, right throughout to master's program, but also looking at some of our intellectual property activity at research level from some of our doctorate research. So it's quite interesting that the university has this attitude as a whole collaborative team to drive the education agenda forward in that form.
Yeah, actually, it's a great transition because I will introduce the program of the meeting. The first part will be more about how entrepreneurship is held in each university, and what are the program, how did it start. The second part will be about collaborative program in entrepreneurship, mainly the Lila program. Here, one of the startups here today in France and both in UK have participated in the Lila program. So I will let Steve and Nicolas introduce their startups, their project, and then we'll move back to the discussion. So Nicolas, please.
Thank you. So I'm Nicolas. I am from the École des Mines de Nancy, and with my associates, we are currently funding our company, which is called SOS Future, and is a help service for private individuals regarding new technologies, and especially computers and connected objects. So it consists of mainly of a help desk with remote assistance and remote control of devices, with advice and training and the creation of personalized tutorials to help them improve their skills with the computers.
Thank you, Nicolas. Steve, can you please introduce us your project, Blindex, and the cane in specific?
Yeah, Blindex we started it in 2013, and Lila took us on from 2014 and incubated us and directed us on what to do and what not to do, and helped us in developing the business aspect of it from beginning to where we are at the moment, and also with the product itself, helping us with other aspects of it, organizing field trips and internationalization of it.
But can you please first introduce the project itself before going deeper?
Okay. The cane is basically a blind cane with camera on it, which does facial recognition, and we've got a memory card in it. So we've got family and friends pictures in the cane, the memory card, and so when the camera sees a friend or a family in a crowded place, you recognize, oh, I've seen this picture, and it matches any of the pictures in its database, recognizes the face, and tells the blind person through a Bluetooth that either person X or person B has been recognized. Mention the name to the blind person, so the blind person knows that person X or person B is around.
Okay.
And also a built-in GPS that uses for location from point A to point B, and also to move around in his or her environment with it.
Okay, thank you, Steve. Just before going to the last startup, we'll talk about it within the questions. So to begin with, my first question, both for Ryan and for Michel. For Michel, can I say Michel? Okay, right. Okay. For both Michel and Ryan, is about how entrepreneurship is taught in the curricula, as part of the curricula, or is it something that is additional for students? So for Nancy, how entrepreneurship is taught within the curricula?
Yeah, I think for the moment that there is three main, I would say, page for that. The first page is that for all the students, we want to diffuse an entrepreneurship spirit by sensibilization of students and perhaps some knowledge of the ecosystems of innovation and entrepreneurship. This is for the first year, I would say. And then it's just do it. It's like in Birmingham. So we put the students with their ideas within the ecosystems, making links between them and all the parts of the ecosystems. So other companies, some.
It appears that I'm sorry. Can you hear us, Rebecca, or do you still have?
It's better now.
Yeah,
Oh.
much better now.
Much better now.
Okay. Right.
Okay. And then afterwards, during the other part of the curriculum, then we helped the students in their entrepreneurship story, giving perhaps some additional education parts, education, I would say, events. And all is built on the basis of some input from the professors, some input from the outside ecosystem, and then events that can help the students to progress and then create their company at the end. So it's all the story. At the beginning, I would say it's for all the students, and then the students that have ideas, we just say them do it, and we help them. And then for 3 years now, perhaps more, I think it's the first year with Sana, which is here for animating this part of the discussion, and for 3 years, some, I would say, bright ideas, and then fun and interesting stories was generated with this dynamics.
Okay, thank you. There is one part which is more about Artem.
This is the two main other pages.
Okay.
One page is Artem. So it's it's within the ecosystem. So within this ecosystem we have an alliance. The alliance is named Artem, and it's an alliance between the business school, the art and design school, and the engineer school. And so for, I would say, more than 15 years now, Artem exists, and we work in this Artem story with workshops for 15 years, and workshops generated innovation and sometimes companies, startups, but it was not included in the curriculum of the school of Nancy. So then, for the 3 last years, we included this dynamic within the global curricula, and then the students that want to create have the contacts with the 2 other communities, the community of ECN Business School, the business school, and the community of the School of Art and Design within the Alliance, Artem Alliance. So this is one page, important page. And the third, I talk about it as the ecosystem. And the ecosystem is more than just the 3 schools. It's all the partners of entrepreneurship at the regional level. So it could be the local authorities, it could be associations which are active in the entrepreneurship, it could be other students from other schools, and all this ecosystem is very important for all the students that have an idea and a story to build with their idea of company or activity. So this is the three main pages. The first is the Nancy curricula, the second is the RTEM ecosystem, and then the regional ecosystem.
Okay, thank you. Rehan, the same question goes for Birmingham City University. How is entrepreneurship taught within the curricula? Is it embedded, or is it transverse, or how do we work with entrepreneurship?
How is entrepreneurship taught in our university? So the ideal word, it would be great if all the students were coming in as entrepreneurs. Having said that, we do get a number of students who come from entrepreneurial backgrounds in terms of their family are in business in some form or the other, or they've had experience working in sectors where they've been supporting entrepreneurship in some form or the other, whether that is social entrepreneurship or purely entrepreneurship because they've been having some work experience based on that. But it would be great if all of them were there, but clearly we find a level of a level to bring everybody up together so they're all on level par. And really we start off with entrepreneurship in such a way that we look at, because computer science, engineering students, they come in, they want to make things, they want to develop things. They are coming in for the practical aspect of it. A lot of the students come in thinking, well, I'm going to work in the tech world, working for companies, the big companies like Microsoft, Cisco, or associate partners of theirs. So clearly we provide them that, that's no doubt about it. Our curriculum is designed to do that. But we also have this journey of what we call the innovation journey, in which we reflect entrepreneurship. We emphasize on entrepreneurship in the second year of their undergraduate degree, where they begin to understand what business planning, business modeling, and the concepts of business are about in the tech world. But to do that, where we realized 3 years ago, in order for them to really engage in that type of a module, because they really haven't come to study the theory of business, really, our students, because they are more practical minded. They learn by doing, they learn by practice. So we give them something. We give them the innovation practice module where they can actually build something, construct something, really address a challenge, a problem, and give them ownership of that particular problem that they are finding solution for. And then we let them, we enable them, empower them to run that through their time at university. And then when they are doing modules like the second year module, where we focus in on entrepreneurship. So I give you an example of one module title. It will be called Business Technology and Entrepreneurship. And in there, they could be doing the business plan of the innovation they started off, and also continue to enhance the innovation they started off in other modules by linking it up with recent technologies, current technologies. And really, that's where entrepreneurship really comes in. Another very large module is, I think, Saleh, one of the ones we got you involved was with management of engineering and technology innovation. So all our technical students are exposed to business entrepreneurship in some form or the other. The idea is to actually, from the innovation practice module, to identify which students are actually engaged, are actually able to articulate entrepreneurship at a very early stage, so we can support them through their process. So we have a department a service department, what we call research, entrepreneurship, and innovation department. So you may have come across it as a department where it's very involved with businesses, big projects like the Leela, the Speed, and through that department, through those projects where we are actually running workshops, additional workshops, for example, on intellectual property. These are classes where, you know, these students can actually either go in as a one-off or actually become part of the program whilst they are here on their time journey. In true fact, knowing that there will be some element of support, there is engagement from that department to actually enable those students, support them in locating possibly investors, for example, but ultimately to actually enable them to understand business models, entrepreneurship, as soon as possible. Okay. And it's not limited to where you are, which year you are in at university, whether you are a PhD student or whether you are a first-year student. If it's of relevance, then you will be in those workshops. Okay. So this is what we call extracurricular activities and opportunities beyond the classroom. And in the final year of our undergraduate programs, we have modules based around consultancy, where entrepreneurship forms part of it, but it's really understanding the process of transformation, understanding the process of what the digital world can do for a business, and how it can be used as a tool to get more productivity and enterprise results out of a business by actually making it more digital. We also have a master's level program. So if students are on the Masters of Science or Masters of Engineering, and in those we start to look at projects where students can engage and actually deliver high-level results for possibly enterprise projects, but also their very own innovation projects.
Actually, thank you, Oriane. Actually, here in Nancy, we have for all the three schools, MIN, ICN, Business School, and the School of Arts. Here in Nancy, we have some courses that are in common. One of them is called CIP, Conception, Innovation, and Production, where all the three types of students gather and work together on one project, which is an entrepreneurial project. They have to do the design, the conception, the business plan, and everything that is related. And by mixing students from various schools, they can each help the other to improve their skills in their specific area. And one of the startups here today went through this program, to this course. So I will let Ivan introduce himself, the course, and the project.
Okay, thank you. My name is Ivan. I'm a student from the CIP a workshop, and our project was a good experience because we focus on a product at the end. So basically, our goal was to get energy from plants. So we start thinking about this problem, and at the end we realized that was possible. We tried to find the plan for create the energy, and at the end we were able to create a lamp powered by a plant. So it was amazing because we have the experience to talk with a lot of professionals, even inside our group, because we were from different schools. It was a good experience because everyone has a different point of view to increase the project at the end. So for me, was really good. And also we have a small video. I don't know if it's possible probably to show them. And yeah, but it was basically centered in design and technology. So we are at the beginning because we know that we have to do a lot of research. But still, we have this concept and this idea, and probably in the future, we are going to be able to see this product.
To better understand the project they are working on, they do have a video that shows the products, what they have been working on in this course, and how it helped them. I will try to share the video with you.
I give you, Saleh, I make you presenter.
Okay, thank you, please. Okay, can you see the screen?
Yeah.
So actually, it's a course that lasts about 6 months, and they spend all the Fridays on their projects. They have to, for the morning, in general, they have theoretical courses about intellectual property, about design, about marketing, about business plans, etc. And for the afternoon, it's more about workshops and going further on their projects, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, that's right. We have this kind of theoretical in the mornings, and in the afternoon we just practicing and discussing all ideas and trying to talk with professionals or trying to extend this idea just to finally just get the project. So it's basically that.
And I do have a question. As for the product, you needed to do some prototyping, some conception. Where did you get the material, the support, the tutoring for this project?
Okay. Yeah, what's the idea? Just to make a 3D prototype. Unfortunately, because the time, we were not able to end in the prototype. But we have the support for the school, for the Fab Lab, which is here in Nancy, and it's related as well to the university. So if we have, we can go there and just explain the project, just get these files, and it's possible just to manufacture that. But as I said, it was difficult because the time and everything. So at the end, we just finished doing this simulation, this animation about what could be possible at the end as a product. And all the time we have this as well, the support of the entrepreneurial course, I would call it, which is a program that is supported by the government, the regional government, and it's just to teach the people how to create the enterprise. So that was every Thursday in the evenings, was open for everyone. So we have this the opportunity to get this conference from different people from different professional backgrounds, and we have the advice for people, and was really good if you have this project as for a start an enterprise, a company. Sorry. So yeah, was that.
Okay. And Steve, for your own project, what are the helps and the support you got for the prototyping aspect, the electronics, or the computer-related aspects of your project? Was it included in your in university, or did you have to look for resources outside of Birmingham City University for your projects?
Other resources, we got it from university, and those that we didn't get from university, Lila produced it because Lila organized a workshop for us in the Research Center in Birmingham. And also another workshop in other places were all organized by Lila. So anything that we don't get from a university, Lila tried to organize that for us. Any resources that we need that we can access in the university, Lila is able to get us those resources and those advices and help that we actually need to progress with the product.
Okay, all right. Okay, thank you. Another way of fostering and helping entrepreneurship here at Nancy is by providing housing and interns for the startups. And as a sense here, the second startup here we have from Nancy, SOS Future, has benefited from the support from Nancy. Nicolas, can you please explain us what are the support and help you got from Nancy in general and from University of Lorraine?
Okay, so I wasn't here at the beginning of the company, the project SOS Future, and my associate started it alone. But actually, I joined him later as an intern, and I was financed by the school. So that was a fantastic opportunity for the startup. And then we are also, our office is located in the school. So this is also a great opportunity.
Okay, and Michel, is it widely spread or planned by Nancy to allow their startups to start to provide workshops and spaces and startup spaces for your future startups, or is it just coincidental or exceptional for this case?
No, it's clearly written in the strategy of the school. So the idea for the Alliance Artem is to promote the building and the management of a new incubator and residence for startups with experts. So this is the future. The past is that, just a comment, the workshop CIP is not 3 years old, it's 15 years old. It's one of the first Artem workshop that was launched by the Alliance. This is one thing, and we learn about it. And 3 years ago, we decided perhaps not to teach entrepreneurship, but to cultivate entrepreneurship, because with with Artem we generated some startups, but it was one here, one another side, and so on. Now, for the 3 years, we cultivated this entrepreneurship spirit, and then it's very a new dynamic, and we want to increase and improve our teaching of basis. But what we teach is just to know, what is the spirit, and then we cultivate it, this spirit within the brain of the students and their ideas and their projects. And so this is what is very important. We cannot really teach entrepreneurship. We can define it, we can give the spirit or perhaps give the conscience of the spirit within the students, and then we have to be here to motivate it and to help them. And what is important also for that is that we have a foundation. The alumni with the alumni, we have a foundation, and so we have funds, and a lot of alumni want to that the school use these funds for helping students for their ideas and project of companies. So it's why we can help them with funds, with places to work, and perhaps with some potential for asking experts to help them, and so on. And so it's not confidential. It's already very written in the strategy plan, and we want to improve that and yes, have I would say a new place for that in the near future.
Okay, thank you. That's great because it's a great springboard for my next question, which is how do you gather support from your network, your alumni, for the funding and the support of the projects and the startups? Let's begin with the Birmingham City University. Ryan, how do we involve your alumni network and your partners in your entrepreneurial activities? Or maybe Rebecca, or
How do you involve partners?
yeah, partners and alumni.
Partners and alumni. So I think as soon as a graduate, so I'll start off with the alumni. As soon as a graduate leaves the university, they become ambassadors of the university.
Can you speak up, please?
Doing a professional job or entrepreneurial, they can continue accessing support from the university through either the faculty or the research enterprise and innovation department. And purely, I think there's a lot of opportunity because there's a lot of opportunity for the university itself. So if an alumni has moved on and has got a great idea and is actually enterprising on that opportunity and requires support, help, the university has access routes to project funding, knowledge transfer, partnership projects. In the UK here, we have a body which we call Innovate UK, which has innovation voucher funding types of funding, which also I believe is existent in Europe, the rest of Europe, should I say? So it's quite interesting on that basis how they can gain support continuing their project beyond university. In terms of partners, we work with a lot of partners like our innovation incubation centers across Europe. Promotech is a good example where you were involved with Saleh as the lead partner for Lila. We enable them, we engage them. So Lila is a great example of how we, for the first time, living labs were experimented and tested at an international stage. So in transnational labs where Blindex is a good example where they had the opportunity to go and run user groups to obtain critical information about their product in order to do sustainable product design at a very early stage for that purpose. So working with partners, collaborating with partners has been the critical ingredients for success for a startup like Blindex. Also for your very own startup, Saleh, it was very interesting to actually test your product amongst so we got your product at a testing stage of 160 students accessing your piece of software, which if you go and try and pay for that service in real time, entrepreneurial world. So if you had a marketing company or you wanted to test your product, it would be very costly for a young startup like yours. Yeah. But working in partnership, be it we had support from the European Commission's Interreg IV Northwest Europe project to enable us to do that. But we found a way, a route to support our very own young innovators who are contributing to the success of their regions.
Okay. Actually, for those who don't know the Lila program, it's an European program to promote startups by providing labs, which means a session where real users can interact test and try the product and express their feedbacks or their suggestion to improve the project or the product. Actually, my own product WASA went through this program, Blindex also, and SOS Future also. So just to get some feedbacks about this program, Nicolas, what can you tell us about the test you did with Promotech as part of this program?
Okay, so we participated in one of those labs, and we asked the group we were working with 3 questions. So the first was, what do you do when you have an issue with your computer or with your tablet or etc. The second one was what solution would like to see appear for resolving computer issues. And then we presented our solution and we asked them what they thought about it. So we thought it was a great experience because every member of the group was very involved in the project, and they had lots of ideas. They expressed their concerns about certain aspects of the project, and after the lab, we modified some features or some features of the product with their remarks.
Thank you, Nicolas. Same goes for Steve. Can you please explain us how your lab with Lila went? What are the feedbacks you got, and how this kind of program helped you to improve and iterate on your projects?
Yeah, actually, without Lila, I don't think we will be able to be where we are at the moment with the project, with the product. Because with Lila, as Rehan said earlier, we had collaborative assistance with other partners, other innovative students. So we share ideas together and talk together, bringing everybody together, and also going into Europe and asking, doing our user feedback, getting our user feedback from Europe, testing the product, like the concept in Europe, and getting their ideas over there was a big help. For instance, in the UK, when we did our user feedback, they were much more into the facial recognition, but in Europe, they were much more into the social aspect of the product. So we had 2 different group of 2 different countries with different feedback from them. So it helped us to be able to narrow down to which aspect of the product that we should be concentrating on, not doing all the features that we wanted to put on together, but just to narrow down to what each various countries wanted to do, which was Europe. We were so much concentrating on the social aspect of it, and whilst in the UK, so much concentrated on the facial recognition of it. So, and all this was due to Lila helping us and encouraging us to do all this, taking us to Europe and giving us the resources to be able to do all this.
Okay. Same goes for Rebecca. You were coordinating the program, the Lila program, for Birmingham City University. What are your feedbacks on the program? What were the successes or the challenges you faced through this program?
For Rehan.
Yeah, it's for you, Rebecca, because you.
Well, from the student success advisor side,
Can you please speak up or increase your microphone?
From my side, I've seen that with Steve, he's been able to be more focused. So rather than, as he's just said, rather than trying to do every different feature, going through these workshops, he's been able to go, well, this is what these users want, this is what that user wants, and just narrowing down, not having features on there that aren't basically useless because nobody wants them. So that's been very beneficial for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. Just to move on to the last questions. We got some feedbacks about the program, about how you are planning to teach or to spread entrepreneurship, but how did your students react or respond to your actions? So to begin with, Michel, can you please tell us in Nancy what was the reaction of the students when you pushed this strategy about entrepreneurship? Did you get some help or some enthusiasm from the students, or did you face some challenges?
I think the first is yes, enthusiasm. It was the first reaction, and then we faced with students that were going more quicker than us. So I think it's the main challenge in that students are going faster than us, and we have to cultivate the entrepreneurship spirit, but it's very difficult for us because it goes very, very fast.
Okay.
Fast and furious, no?
And for Ryan, for your as you pushed your entrepreneurial activities and events, what were the top feedbacks and reactions you got from the students? Were they impressed or maybe enthusiastic, or on the opposite, they faced you with some difficulties or with some hindrances? Did it go smoothly with students?
Okay. So it's quite interesting because tech students, they're quite focused on making something remarkable, something very functional, and the last thing they are thinking about the person who's going to use the product. So sometimes a lot of our students, on the reaction of user feedback, they say, I thought of that. Wow, that's been very enlightening. So a lot of them were said, but the tech won't be able to do that. And where they said, but hang on a minute, you've got to make the tech service the user, otherwise there's no point in making what you are making. So in a few occasions, we've had a good debate where the students were saying, oh, no, I wanted to do this, but hang on a minute, you've got to make it do what the user wants it to do. So it's been very interesting. I think a lot of the students it's been a big eye opener for them. So a lot of our curriculum has now enabled students to engage with users as much as possible, but at a stage where they are confident to be able to engage with users.
Okay.
So yeah, a lot of the students, the last thing they are thinking, users, it is more and more important that they realize the more and more importance of engaging users if they want a successful project beyond the classroom.
Okay, thank you. Same goes for the students themselves. What are your feedbacks or reactions about the entrepreneurship-oriented activities and events that are held by Nancy, or the program CIP or Lila you got?
I think it's very important to encourage students to become entrepreneurial because I think it's the future of the society. And in our case, it was a good opportunity to explore into a original concept, because at the beginning we just got this idea, but we didn't know how to make it possible. So all the time we have this help from people, from professors, from experts and everything. And you know, as the days were going passing, we just start to molding our project. So it was really good. I think it's a great opportunity even for share different knowledge. If you are working with people from different backgrounds, in my case was really good because, as I said, we work with people from the School of Business, and another persons from the engineer faculty, and myself that was I'm doing a master's in design, so it was really good. And also as a foreigner, was really good because at the beginning was a little bit scared just to talk about my ideas and everything, but was a really good. The group at the end just get very well along, so it's amazing. I think I recommend that, and for me, I think all the universities should do this kind of programs all the time.
But there's a room for improvement. Do you have some suggestions to improve the program?
Yeah, I think, for example, in our case, was really difficult to get access to the lab to make the different experiments. So I think it's probably just a matter of communication, maybe between different faculties, to get more involved. When you have like this idea, is for us was a really a bit difficult just to get into the scientific people, just to talk about the idea and to have the time just to get the experiments and everything.
Okay, so I think that it's really very difficult to teach students about entrepreneurship, or to motivate them, or to motivate every student, because not all of them are interested in entrepreneurship. But I think that the making students work in little workshops about small or medium projects is really good, because they can get involved in something real and concrete, and even if you don't have an idea about because to create something you need an idea, but if you don't have an idea you can't do anything. And with these workshops you can work on something concrete even if you don't know what to work on.
Before going to questions, to open questions, I still have one last question for Michel and Drehan. It's about entrepreneurship in your faculty or university. How do you see it for the next 5 years? What are the great challenges, the great projects you are holding, and what are the future perspectives of entrepreneurship in your school?
I think it's first to ask to this demand, these points of liberty of access to experts, liberty of access to space, liberty of access to networking, and this is in the way of what we put in our project of Villa Artem. So this project of incubator and residence, open all the night with facilities and so on. So this is, I think, the future for our schools. It exists in some places, but it doesn't exist here. This is very important. And also to perhaps increase or improve the link of the group of students with business owners, with farms. I think it's working. We have the chance to have alumni in the fourth business angel group in France. So it's quite interesting for them because they can pitch in front of them and obtain support or not, depending on their ideas. So perhaps here we are in contact with the fourth group in France, but perhaps we can be in contact with other groups in France or in other countries, and perhaps merge business angel groups from country to countries, because all IDs up to now are international IDs, and if they are not international, I think they have no chance on market. So I think it's the two main evolution of our dynamic now. So more liberty and more funds.
Okay. Actually, Rehan, do you have the same challenges with funding for the startups and the projects? Do you face the same challenges, or is it something that is plenty and widely available for the projects?
I think projects, they all come with their own specific challenges in terms of individual projects. But as my center, my school, the realization that one of the trickiest moment is the realization of when a project becomes a business model. So that process of understanding how, what I call generally tech students, being able to have that realization. So it is challenging for them to realize the confidence and the ideas and the concepts they've got from the prototypes they are building, that there is an opportunity much bigger if they focus and deliver. Because a lot of the startups, you will see, they take hundreds, thousands of hours, man hours in actually getting it to market realization. So in terms of the biggest challenges, curriculum is very structured, especially here in the UK, and the expectations are so many hours. But in reality, to be a successful entrepreneur, a successful innovator, you have to put in quite some long hours of effort as a student to do that. So realization from students is a big challenge. In terms of the future, I think what you touched on earlier, the cross collaboration is quite exciting. Great projects. I think students need to come together from multidisciplinary backgrounds. So the module you introduced, and I think somebody showed a video on that, which was very good, very exciting stuff. And that is really where a lot of the entrepreneurial practice-based universities are actually now modeling their curriculum on. So for us, it's quite interesting. We have just received the go-ahead in the last UK budget for something like a £14 million innovation campus, which will bring those multidisciplinary. We already do interdisciplinary for STEM. We will now be formally in a segmented support center doing STEAM, where we inject arts into STEM, vice versa, arts enabling STEM to go forward. So yeah, I think those future is quite bright in terms of education contributing to economical entrepreneurship.
Okay. Just for the point that Mr. Josin has suggested about international collaboration, I know. I was wondering, why did you join the Lila program, and are you planning for the future to start or expand on other European programs? Is it something that is planned to keep strong links with other European incubators or programs, and is it something that is going on?
So this is for me. Is that for me?
Yeah. Actually, yes, it's for you.
So why did we join? Why did we join Lila? I think as a university, and particularly Birmingham, we support Birmingham in its economical development. We are a key partner to the strategical development of the region. So we joined Lila for that purpose. We work with small-sized businesses, young businesses, and we enable them and develop them as far as we can, whether they are running on their own. But yeah, so that was the fundamental reason of joining it. But ultimately, understanding this exploration activity of living labs was key to why us as an education establishment joined it, so how we could actually learn from it, but also contribute to it. in going forward with the Living Labs application project, we will continue for the next 5 years to be definitely for the next 3 years as the online platform is still existent, to participate, to engage, to bring young projects on that platform, and also work with new partners across Europe in that model or on that platform, whether it's using a revised version of the user lab process or internationalization of young startups. And ultimately, of course, any new projects participating, engaging with European colleagues across mainland is exciting opportunities, and we continue to pursue those. And there are a number of projects in hand, including the Steam House is also, we are also working with the ERDF streams of funding. We are working with Erasmus, which is quite known to the education sector, in how we do entrepreneurship curriculum, how we develop that going forward. So there's quite exciting times coming forward.
Okay, thank you very much. So if the audience has questions about either entrepreneurship at Nancy or at Birmingham City, or if you have questions directly for the entrepreneurs we have in this panel about their project or about their curricula. Okay. Actually, I do have one question for the BlindX team. I don't know if you have heard, but here in Nancy, we also have a project for blind canes, which is called Andisco, which has been set up with Cisco. I don't know if you have contacted them, or have you ever discussed their issue or their projects, or what is your opinion? I don't know if you know them actually. Steve.
What are they called again?
Handisco, HANDISCO. I will type it.
No, I know Wahid was also the co-founder, Steve's colleague in this startup. There is a French young startup who actually has been developing a smart cane that have been communicating with and also in some sense exchanging some practice as well. I don't know, Steve, if you remember that, if you want to share that more.
Yeah, there's this French guy, I can't remember the company name, because they came over when Wahid was in Nantes the last time, and they had a bit of collaboration on how to proceed, because they had bigger partners supporting them, but what they didn't have was the facial recognition, which was the make it of our product.
Okay.
And they were asking why.
Okay. Same goes for the French here. For your startups or your project, have you evaluated the European market? Is it planned for you to start in Europe, or are you only planning to start with French market and then expand it later? What are your international plans?
I think we'd rather start in the UK market because this is where we are based. So we start from home where we are in the UK. Because in the UK alone, we've got over 2.2 million blind registered people in the UK. So our main market will be from the UK and preferably from West Midlands, which has about 300,000 blind people, if I'm right. So we try to tap into that first and then try to expand to other parts of Europe. Because I think for a small business like us, we need to start crawling before we start running or walking. If we go big from the beginning and we don't succeed, it will be a waste of money and energy. So my view is start small from your vicinity and then expand from there.
Okay. And so you will start with the UK market, but expanding worldwide. Are you planning to have partners in each countries, or is it okay? Right. Okay. So same goes for SOS Future. What are your international plans?
So as a remote service, we don't really have borders except the language border, of course. So we don't plan on an international service for now, but yes, we are thinking of it in long term.
For us, is starting first with the local market here in France, progressively just increase, because we know that is a global problematic. This thing about to get energy from other source of renewable. So yeah, it's important for us that.
So just to sum up, I've asked both the academics about their next steps. What about the startups? Steve, what are your next steps for your project or your company?
Oh yeah, at the moment, we're working with University of Madrid in the University of Accra, yeah, because Wahid is there at the moment working on the product. So it's collaborating with them over there, because we had them coming over about a year ago, and now they say we should come over. So Wahid is there collaborating with them in developing a product. So that's like more of academic input that we're getting from Madrid University.
Okay, thank you, Steve. What are your next steps for Lumi?
We already thought about it. We know that we need more research, because we are just starting at the beginning. We already have like ideal of product that we can just arise at the end, like in the video. But we know that we need to probably to continue with the research to get more efficient ways to produce energy, which is a lot of experimentation. And after that, we already plan how to make the commercial strategy just to start this promoting this product. So it's that basically.
Okay, all right. Thank you, Nicolas.
And for SOS Future, the next big step is, of course, the creation of the company, which is planned for July of this year. And in 2 days, actually, we also have a jury for a bank loan. So it's a big step. And we also are beginning negotiations with associations for partnerships.
Okay, great. Thank you very much for everyone. For the next steps for this workshop, actually, all the session has been recorded. I will make a summary report about all the good practices that have been proposed both by the Birmingham City University and Nancy, and the document will be shared across all the participants. Thank you very much for all of you for your participation. Thank you, Rehan. Thank you, Rebecca. Thank you, Steve. And thank you, too. Rehan or Rebecca, if you have questions or do you have some feedbacks now, or we can discuss it later, maybe.
So I believe you also have an audience in front of you?
Yeah, there are some students. So.
Can I also see them and say hello to them? I didn't get to see them. Super.
Guys.
The dedicated ones. Okay, super. Bonjour.
Okay, so from UK. That's it. Thank you very much. So we will discuss later for the feedbacks or things like that.
Sure. No problem.
Okay. Have a nice day. See you.
Yep. Thanks.
Thanks.
Goodbye from here, Sri Lanka.
Thank you.
Bye.
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 Bye from London.
Bye from
Merci beaucoup.
Merci à toi. Le début était un peu laborieux.
Non, mais voilà, c'était pas.
L'histoire de connexion.
Parce que du coup, il y a une autre session juste après. C'est pour ça que je voulais laisser 10 minutes en fait, parce qu'il y a une autre session. Histoire que.
La technique doit encore progresser. Hein.
C'était pas prêt.
Il nous manque un produit informatique.
Je suis désolé.
Mais non, c'est bon, ça va. On y arrive.
Ouais, bon, en fait, non, il n'y avait pas que ça. En fait, il y avait des étudiants qui s'étaient inscrits. Et en fait, on leur avait donné un mauvais salle.
Oui, il y a eu un changement de salle.
En fait, il y a eu un changement de salle, on les a pas prévenus. Du coup, ils nous ont attendus dans l'autre salle et ils se sont barrés. Non, mais bon, franchement, il y a tout le monde, que ce soit Anne, que ce soit. En fait, tout le monde a essayé de faire son mieux.
Merci. Continuez à